Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, just got a ping about the physicist. He's put a paper together for the additional planets that we're seeing in our horizon. So let's go through this together, inshallah. Okay, I'm having some sort of problems today.
Good morning, it's Chris Potter.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, guys, just received a ping. It's an update from the physicist. It's about the additional and the celestial bodies that we're seeing in our horizon being captured all over the world, notably more in the southern hemisphere. It's been catched by webcams everywhere. Different celestial bodies with different colors. You've got red, blue, beige, which is multicolored with a multicolored atmosphere. You've got a green one. Then you've got the bright stars. Anyway, the physicist has done a paper on it, so let's just see what he's got to say about this. Anomaly that's been picked up in our horizon.
Today is September 24th, 2016. Today's presentation is additional planets within the solar system, a physicist's thoughts. Let's begin. There's a lot of observational evidence that there is a number of additional planets in our solar system. In this article, I will be discussing some of that evidence. Figure 1 below shows an H1A image. Visible light is provided by SETI from January 8, 2016 at 2209 UTC. Mercury and Earth are in the image, but there are also two extra unlabeled objects present. There is a planet between and above Earth and Mercury, and there is another object to the left of Earth. Okay, just so you know, there's the first object. This appears to be the second object right here, actually. Alright. The object is dark, so it is not reflecting light. If the object was close enough to the Earth, it would probably not be observed. However, the Sun seems to be interacting with this object, since we see a line of light coming from the Sun towards the object. Interesting. And continuing on through Earth's position. Since we see a line of light coming from the Sun towards this object and continuing on through Earth's position. This suggests that the object is highly charged. Figure 1. H1A image. Visible light is provided by SETI from January 8, 2016 at 2209, showing two unlabeled objects in the image in addition to Earth and Mercury. Figure 2 below shows the solar system scope view from January 8, 2016 at 2209 with Earth and Mercury in the relative positions shown in Figure 1. Notice that there are not supposed to be any planets between Earth and Mercury or to the left of Earth. Figure 2, solar system scope view for January 8, 2016 at 2209. Figure 3 below. On the left shows a photograph of the Sun with a red object underneath the Sun. This object is probably a red planet. Notice that it's not a lens flare. As lens flares are created when light is reflected and refracted, both reflection and refraction.
Guys, I don't know whether any of you have picked it up, at least for those of you who've been following my uploads. Do you see the image on the right? And do you see the red and the blue celestial body? Now, what I'm assuming below it is actually the Sun. But what I saw in my dream is those two celestial bodies and a very bright star. And this was on the day of Yom Arafah. The bright star had a blue kind of haze around it, a halo around it. It was very bright. And I saw two celestial bodies, a red and a blue one. And subhanAllah, this is the first time I've ever seen any footage of the two together next to each other, just like I saw them in my dream in our horizon.
Are not able to change the frequency of light coming from an object. It is the frequency of the light coming off of an object that determines our perception of color.
It's mentioned in the video, I think, the dream on the day of Yom Arafah. That's actually the title given to it, and it was uploaded then as well on the same day, I believe.
So the light coming off of an object has a different frequency to the light coming off a green object, for example, and this frequency cannot change when the light undergoes reflection or refraction. If the red orb underneath the sun is a lens flare, it can only be a lens flare of a red object. The red orb cannot be a lens flare of the sun because the sun is not red. Figure 3 on the left, image of the sun with a red object, possibly a red planet below it. On the right, a blue object and red object above the sun. So, figure 3 on the right shows a photograph of the sun with the red object and the blue object above it. These two objects cannot be lens flares of the sun because the sun is white and these objects are blue and red. So the object shows that there are two objects above the sun, one is red and the other is blue. These objects are probably planets.
No, okay.
Figure 4, image of the sun with several planets around it. In figure 4, we see two red orbs. One may be a lens flare of the other, but there is at least one red object in this image. We also see one green object, and therefore a green planet in this image. There are also several gray objects visible. Some may be lens flares of the others, but from the different surface features of the object, I would think that there are at least two gray planets in the image. So we have at least one red planet, one green planet, and two gray planets in this image. The planets may appear to be out of focus because of the use of space deception technology, SDT devices. The SDT device used to make an object out of focus is usually a lens in orbit around the Earth. Figure 4 also shows a pink or magenta orb and a multicolored orb. The magenta color is usually associated to holographic projectors, another much used SDT device. So the pink may not necessarily be associated with an actual planet. The multicolored orb may also be associated to the use of a holographic projector or dispersion of light.
For me personally, this paper is subhanAllah, it's a very interesting one. I see a lot of striking similarities to what I've seen in my dreams and what I'm seeing here right now in the images and what the physicist is pointing out.
Going through a lens device, so it may not necessarily be associated to a planet. However, it is possible that it's actually a multicolored planet. Figure 5 below shows 3 images in which we see at least one planet. The image on the left shows a multicolored planet next to the sun. The image in the middle shows a planet below the sun that is obviously reflecting sunlight. So this planet is under and a bit behind the sun. This means that this is an absolutely enormous planet, about the quarter of the size of our sun. The small...
That's just ridiculously huge. It really is. I can't begin to explain how big that is. We wouldn't see it. If it was in our horizon, we wouldn't see it, because it would cover the horizon, basically. So we could never see this planet unless it was at a fair distance away from us. As it draws closer, there's a very interesting analogy given. When you're next to a tall building, you'll not see it, simply because it's towering over you. Right, so you can't appreciate it unless you are at a distance in order to basically appreciate the dimensions of it, the scale of it. but because you're so close up to it, it's literally in your face. You might just see one glass pane, which is part of that building, and that's about it. Anything more than that won't be visible to you. So if this planet, as it's been drawn out during its trajectory, heads in that direction, and we've seen a light source next to the sun, which is indicative of that, it almost has a glow like the sun. Potentially, it could be this planet, right, which is doing that. Remember, there was an upload that I shared a while ago where the sun was going past, and then there was this planet almost. Well, I suggested it was a planet simply because it didn't have its own source of light. The sun was reflecting on it, and where the sun was reflecting as it went past this particular planet, at least it seemed like a planet in a video. The source of light was following the planet's surface up until the sun basically moved out of the horizon, and then so did the planet become invisible to the naked eye, simply because it wasn't reflecting the sun's light anymore. And it most likely is the same celestial body that's been referred to in the central picture over here. And it's pretty big, it's huge. I mean, seriously, if it's a quarter of the sun's size, if that thing comes anywhere near us, we won't see it. We just won't see it, because it will cover the whole horizon. We won't see anything. I mean, that could potentially be again, another cause for the 3 days of darkness, right? Because if that planet comes in front of us and the sun, then we won't see anything ahead of us, right? So I mean, there's many variables with this system, and any one of them could be the cause for which we'll experience the natural disasters, the great natural disasters, the 3 great landslides, and very possibly the 3 days of darkness. And then there's the Abdukan that we're basically hypothesizing that could be the plasma field that's following one of these red planets, right? That could be the cause of that, as it basically literally traces through our atmosphere once this celestial body goes back off in its trajectory in our direction, back out to its trajectory.
A white circle next to the planet could be a lens flare. As it is the same color as the sun, the image on the right shows a planet next to some cloud. Figure 5, image of planets is seen from inside of the Earth's atmosphere. Figure 6 below shows another planet that is thought to be the planet Nibiru. This planet is thought to be surrounded by plasma and have 2 plasma tails, one positively and the other negatively charged. The object in figure 6 seems to be out of focus. This is probably an indication that there are SDT devices or lenses between it and the camera. This object is highly charged and may...
Okay, the SDT lenses are obviously there to bend the light, as it were, so that you can't really see what's behind it. And they've got these, we're again, hypothesizing. And there is evidence. I've not done videos on it, but it seems like they've got these rotating around the Earth's, above the Earth's atmosphere. And they can basically electronically control the direction they take using thrusts and all other systems, I guess, that they already use to navigate once they're up there in that atmosphere using other technologies.
Therefore, be the same object that is to the left of our Earth in figure 1, figure 6, object in Earth's sky thought to be highly charged planet Nibiru. Chris Potter, a physicist's thoughts. Have a great day.
Subhanallah. Okay, that was a little overwhelming for me. Obviously, it's just nostalgia. Dreams are kind of, obviously rushing back. Anyway, Jazakallahu khairan wa ahsanul jaza for your time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.